Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a quick video on how you can use Apple Freeform with Apple Notes. And if you're a visual thinker like I am, having something like a Freeform board where you can collect information, move it around, and generate ideas. And if you haven't used Freeform before, you should really take a look at it because you can use it different ways to interact with Apple Notes back and forth, and I'll show you how. So for those of you who don't know what Freeform is, it's basically an infinite whiteboard where you can place text, images, web links, YouTube videos, papers, documents, things like that. Put them on the whiteboard, try to connect information together. It's a great brainstorming environment. And you can see some of the examples I have up on the screen on what those might look like. So in this video, my goal is not to show you all of the Freeform features or all of the interactions with Apple Notes, but to really give you a sense of how the two can interact. And what we're going to do is do two different views. One is where you collect information on the Freeform board. You're working with it, you're brainstorming, you're trying to figure out things. It's a dumping ground of all types of information to give you ideas, and then move that information into Apple Notes. And the second option will be collecting information into Apple Notes through maybe web clippings or bookmarks, and then moving that into Freeform, and then using Freeform to modify that, and then moving it back into Apple Notes. All right, so what I like to do when I'm first creating a Freeform board, and I'm going to move that into Apple Notes, is just create a collection note. So this will be the demo board note. And then on the Freeform side, this will be my demo board. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to have this note link into Freeform and this board link back into the note. All right, so we'll do that. We'll share the note to the board first. So all I have to do in Notes is go to Share, and we'll share that note. And we can pick Freeform, and I will share it to myself. We'll do the share link. And then it asks for which board you want to save that to. And there it is. So now I have a link back to the note. And if I double click on this, it'll link me back. And now we'll do the opposite. We will share the Freeform board to the notes. So same thing. Just go to Share. And we will share that with Notes. Simply share that with yourself. Like I did before, we'll share the link. So we choose the note, demo board note, and then we save it. And there we go. We have the link now in the demo board note. So now we have links back and forth between the two. So it'll be easy as I'm working on a board, I can shift back and forth. And this is the same process you'll use if you're starting with notes first as well. So again, my goal here is not to show you all of the features of Freeform. There's a lot of things you can do, but generally you can add all types of things. You can add web pages, images, you can add links to papers, you can create tables, and of course you can do Freeform drawing. So for example, I could go to Safari, say I'm doing something on note-taking. I could just drag and drop this down into the page, and you see I have a note-taking link. This is an actual link back to that page. Remove the constraints if you want. Maybe I want to have a little text from this as well, so I could just do this. I could share it directly to the board like I did before, or I could just simply copy and paste it in. Of course, if you're on your iPad or you're on your iPhone with iOS, you could just drag and drop this into the page, but it makes it really easy. Let's say I have a paper like this, and I just want to drag that paper in, so I can just bring it over. But you get the idea. You can see here in the menu items, you can have things where you can add photos, obviously. You can scan documents, you can add sketches, all kinds of things. But the idea here is that you're collecting notes in this page. So very similar to Apple Notes and the functionality you would find in Apple Notes, you're just collecting everything together as your brainstorming canvas and going to use that then to continue on. So one thing I like to do before I start collecting notes is have some templates. And this is something for me, whether you do this or not is up to you. But I like to have a set of templates to help me organize information. You can see here I have boxes that I can put notes into. I have these kind of combo boxes where I might have information here, maybe a link to a video or a website. You can have organizational boxes, and then something that might be a frame and the note and some of the embedded text. But you can just create a templates page and have this all together. So it makes it really easy if I'm adding information. Let's just say I wanted to put some text into the box. I could just take this particular text, copy it. Say I pulled this from a web page. I could take my frame, make it the right size, put it over the text, and then just group that together. And you're all set. You have a grouped note and within a frame. Makes it look good. And then if you're moving things around on your page, you have an option to do that. So again, create a templates page. It looks good. You could do this also with drawings if you had certain kinds of titles with highlights. All right, what I've done here is I've copied an existing Freeform board onto the demo board. And basically, we're just going to be moving information into the note. It's very easy. On an iPad, of course, if you can just drag and drop information. On Mac OS, it's just as easy. You can just simply highlight a section you want, click in it, just do a copy and paste it in. If I have an image, I can do the same thing, copy, paste it in. If I have, say, I want to get to, for an article here, copy that, paste that in. If it's just a link, obviously I could come in here and just show the article preview, link preview, add that in. And you just keep going as that. That just collects your information into a note as you go, however you organize it on there. It's that easy. And then to do the very same thing on your iPhone or iPad using iOS, all you have to do is go to my Freeform board, grab the information I want, drag it right over to the note, and it drops right in. Of course, another option is to simply export the entire board as PDF and place that into your note, and then use the OCR capabilities of Apple Notes just to extract a lot of that information, and you'd have all the images embedded. So you can just go up to File, Export Board as PDF, your demo board, put it in your downloads, and you're all set. And then you could just import that into your notes and grab the necessary information you want to capture. So here's what the demo board PDF looks like. What's nice about this is all the links work. You can capture the text with OCR. But if I want to go to an article, I could just double click that, open that in Safari, and it's going to bring up that particular article. So that makes it very useful as well. So as a quick example, you can see I've actually attached the PDF in my note here. So if I expand this out a little bit, the demo board's there. And then if I want to actually interact with that board, I can just open the attachment. And then again, all the links are available. I could double click this again, open it in Safari, and I get to that particular article. So that's another way you could use the board within your notes. All right, let's just do the opposite direction. This is a lot easier in many ways because you can drag and drop from notes into Freeform on Mac OS and, of course, on iPad and iOS. So if we take a look here, we can look at a bunch of different notes. Maybe you've gathered a bunch of notes and you want to kind of collate that together in a more visual view. Well, obviously, Freeform is going to be a really good example for you. We could take a specific article, and maybe we have some text here that we want to grab, and I can just drag that right over. No problem. I can take an image. I can drag that over if I need to. Of course, I can open other notes. Maybe you have an article. The drag doesn't work on Mac OS for the article. If you go back as view as plain link, then you have it. You can highlight that, go copy, paste, and it places the article on your page. You could also drag a PDF over if you want to. Simply drag and drop. So this is a very easy way just to combine information and then use the Freeform capabilities to connect information, link it, add additional diagrams, draw on it, whatever you want to do. Then, once you have your page set up and you've added additional information, maybe you're adding additional notes from other sources here, you use my first technique then to bring that information back into Apple Notes, maybe a common note or something like that. But you still have that link back to a specific note so that if you're adding new information, you can simply just move it into that note and then expand that note or move it into other notes so you have all that new information added. And then on iOS, I can show you the same thing. I can select perhaps an image here. I can drag it over to a note, drop it in, and it's just going to be added to the note just like I did on Mac OS. So certainly if you're a more artistic person, you can do a lot of hand drawing, your penmanship's good, you like to handwrite notes, you can mix this all together and obviously just drag some of this information into Apple Notes and let the OCR function grab the text out of your handwritten notes. If you haven't looked at my previous video on doing OCR with Apple Notes, please take a look. It shows you ways you can do it with both iOS and with Mac OS. So you easily could combine those techniques together and add a more artistic flair and a more of a note-taking flair with this. So just to close this out, it's good to call out some tips about Freeform. First of all, Freeform still has bugs. Sometimes it'll crash, sometimes there'll be issues, so make sure you back up anything you're working on, make a duplicate or save it as a PDF just so you've captured that board. Next is image text within Freeform is not searchable yet. So if you're taking a picture of handwritten notes or of a book, the text is not searchable. So you have to OCR that in Notes and then copy that text into Freeform if you want that to be searchable within Freeform. Be sure to copy any important text back to Notes as you're working on it. So that goes back to the backup idea. If something crashes, you're going to lose that text. Make sure you have that text back in Notes. Save your boards in iCloud if you want to share back and forth like I showed in the video. And then submit your ideas to the Freeform team. I'll put a link in here. Freeform, the team at Apple does have an actual input form where you can submit ideas, things that you would like to see in Freeform. So be sure to do that. All right. Well, that wraps it up. I hope that helped. I hope it gets you inspired to maybe try using Freeform a little bit more. I have found it quite useful for myself. If you haven't watched these videos before, please, again, subscribe. It really helps the channel. It's free. And I'll be doing more videos in the future about learning techniques, note-taking techniques, etc. So take care, enjoy, have a great day.